Hi y'all, and welcome to the Tuesday, October 8th edition of Nine Branches blog. Alright, so we're going to talk a little bit today about the 5 different keys to your local Baha'i website. The first key is why you exist. Now, that seems like a really sort of obvious thing, why do you exist? But the reason I ask is because, honestly, we're the Baha'i community. We're not the big church downtown, we're not something that everybody knows about. Most people, honestly, they don't know why you exist. And so it's important to tell them, sometimes very directly. So think about that when you're making your website. Perhaps put like a little purpose statement underneath the sidebar. Or even in your main image. Try to find somewhere to show why you exist. Because honestly, people don't know. They don't know what the Baha'i philosophy is. They don't know how we want to change our communities. They want to know, but they don't know. Okay, so second point, that's first point right there. Second point is, how do they get to you? And that sounds like really another obvious sort of thing, but the truth is that a lot of Baha'i websites, in fact, by far the majority, if you were to look at it, if you were to be a seeker and you were to look at that website, you wouldn't actually know how to meet the Baha'is. You can kind of click around for a while, learn little tidbits about things, find out, oh, I now know what a junior youth empowerment group is. And those are very important things. But they don't actually tell those people who are looking for you. They're looking for you, the people, not the faith necessarily. Most of the time they're looking for you, the people, the community. They don't know how to get to you. So make sure you give them directions, times that your devotionals or anything else are going on, and try to tell them how to dress. Sometimes people freak out about that, especially some places. When I grew up, when you go to church, you had to wear your Sunday best. Hence the phrase, Sunday best. So it's important for you to let them know that they can dress casually in most Baha'i communities. So let them know they can dress how they feel. What's important is that they show up. But just let them know the details they need to be comfortable. Alright. Okay, so the next part is long-distance relationships. Now, I know that sounds kind of funny, but what I'm really trying to get at here is there are a lot of people that will be looking at your Baha'i website that aren't actually living in your town right now. They're living in San Francisco, or New York, or Texas, or Georgia, or something. And they're thinking about moving to your area sometime soon. Perhaps they're kind of considering it. Or, perhaps they just want to drop by and see what you guys are up to when they're on a vacation or something. And so it's important to have this information available for those kinds of people so that they can kind of drop in at a moment's notice. And my personal story is when I moved to my current community, it took me 2 weeks to get in contact with the Baha'is. Now, I'm a Baha'i. I've been one for about half my life now. And if anybody should know how to kind of make this work, it would be me. I mean, I know how these things, I know about find.baha'i.us, but, it was really hard. It was really hard because they didn't have a real website. And even the kind of website they had didn't have any directions or anything on there. So make sure that you are catering not to just the target audience that's in your city, the people that, like the Baha'is that are already in your community, your local Baha'i community, or the other people that are in your town. I mean, those are your primary audience. But make sure you think about also the people that could be dropping by on a whim, or maybe they're planning on moving to your community for a year or two, or maybe they're even evaluating what city they want to move to try to figure out what kind of Baha'i community are in different cities. So they're kind of comparing you to other cities, looking at their quality Baha'i communities. So keep that in mind. Alright. Fourth, we've got respect and reflect your community honestly. Now, the idea behind this is that when you have a website, one of the first things about having a website, whether it's a business or a church or your local Baha'i community, let's just face it, you're a little tempted. You're a little tempted to be like, well, I wish we were more diverse. I wish we had more African Americans, Hispanics, young people, old people. We wish we had more of a certain demographic that maybe our community, our wider city has. So that we could appeal to them. So we don't, maybe nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfectly reflective of diversity. But you're tempted. You're like, well, we have a website. We can put an image on there that has everybody on there. And so that way, if somebody is from a certain community, they're going to feel like, well, I can show up to this Baha'i community and everything is going to be just like that. Well, don't lie to people. Because people get really disappointed when you lie to them. I mean, if you're a young person and you're looking at a Baha'i website and it looks like everybody in that community is young, but they're not. You show up to a devotional gathering and it's sort of like a retirement home. I mean, God bless those Baha'i communities and they're doing their job for wherever they are, but you want to be honest about that. People who are truly interested in the faith or truly interested in your community are going to show up. no matter what the people in your Baha'i community look like. But if you lie to people, they'll get upset. So don't do that. All right. Last but not least, we have show then tell. Now, what does that mean? All right. Well, the idea is that when people look at your Baha'i website, they're not just looking at sort of like the values of the faith, or the history, or even what activities you're doing, although those things are important, especially the activities. What they want to see is they want to see who is in this Baha'i community. Now, it's a little bit different than what we talked about just a second ago. We just reflect your community honestly. But they really want to know the people that are in the Baha'i community. I mean, a lot of times when you look at a Baha'i website, local ones, some town in the middle of like Iowa or something, I don't know. And you look at the top of the webpage and all the images, they're of like the Holy Land. They're of the Baha'i shrines, or, you know, if you're lucky, the temple in Wilmette. But that's not really what your Baha'i community is about at all. You need to show your people. You need to show things that are local, that are relevant to the people who are likely to be looking at your website. And use images and video to show what's going on. So, are you guys doing study circles? Show pictures of that. Are you guys doing junior youth empowerment groups? Show pictures of that. That's important to people. Do you guys do soup kitchens? Show that. Do you guys play basketball on the weekends with the youth group? Or just period, you know, middle-aged people shooting hoops? Show that. People need to see that your local Baha'i community is bigger than just people that show up to devotional gatherings. Or it's bigger than people that just, you know, do Baha'i things. It's a real community of real people who care about each other and live life together. Alright, thanks. That's all for this week. And next week we'll be coming back to you on Tuesday. Alright, take care.